Nothing teed up unless there's something you want to talk about.
I do want, the placement of that trailer, why did it go in on the angle like that?
It went in on the angle like that to try to do two things. One, DEP asked us to move the trailer upland,
Yeah.
but to get it out of what they're referring to as the wave action zone or the flood zone. And then the angle of it came just from taking a look at where the walkway is going to be put in, make sure we have enough room for the ramp. Beyond that, I'm not sure if there's causal reason.
Okay, the only reason is it takes so much, it takes probably a good 40 feet of field space in that corner. It was a smallish field to begin with. And now, I mean, it just, kids that they play are going to be running into that.
Well, the angle actually lets us take a little less of the field than putting it just parallel to the road. But I guess I see what you mean in terms of if it were perpendicular to the road. We didn't have the space to do that. It would have gone over into the wave action zone.
Could we have gone straight back along the fence line?
We looked at a couple different mastications, and I can certainly ask Nick to explain to you why we ended up with the angle. It was not by accident. It was after a lot of conversations with DEP.
The only thing is I'm worried about is we only have 2 athletic fields in the borough of Belmar. And the placement of that trailer just takes 40 feet, because I marked it off in that corner.
I certainly understand. It actually takes less feet than the original configuration, so it is somewhat of a gain.
It extends out onto the field, so I was disappointed when I saw the placement of that. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Any petitions from the audience? Seeing none, we'll go to reports of council. Janice, let you start.
All summer long, we've had a senior walking group, and this morning they are over at Sweet Tea's having breakfast and celebrating the almost 4 million steps that they took this summer. So we have our seniors out there walking and staying healthy. They will be in the gym during part of the winter time to continue walking. And next year we'll decide what we can do to keep them active again. And that's everything I have.
Good. Tom?
Thank you, Mr. McGovern. It's been a quiet summer between the Harbor Commission and the Environmental Commission. Neither group has met in the last month. I can tell you the Environmental Commission is definitely looking into plantings along the boardwalk to try to regenerate the kind of dunes that we used to have. They're boardwalk high between the boardwalk and the snow fence on the eastern side of the boardwalk. We want to look at native species, kind of thing that doesn't take a lot of maintenance because they're native species. They basically put them in, they'll grow, they'll bring the sand up, and there's be a little bit more protection for the boardwalk and the houses on the other side of the street. On a personal note, as many of you might know, I was in New Orleans last week. I took my youngest son back to college and looked at the house where my older son is living and was made painfully aware about their flooding that's going on. It's not actually in the city of New Orleans. You can only tell by the fact that some of the waterways are very high. But about an hour and a half north around Baton Rouge and to the west, there's been devastation. And I really appreciate the fact that I know so many people in Belmar have taken the time to make donations online. It's Louisiana Flood Relief. You can just Google that and you'll find where to give donations. One of the things that we're not going to see, the damage is, the video of water up to the top of people's houses is very dramatic. And that's one of the things that catches people's eye. But the main destruction out there, because this is such an agricultural area, is livestock and crops. I talked to a woman who was telling me the story about she had just taken her son back up to college near that area, and the flood had already started going down off the road. She said you could see the cows in the field, and she didn't mean they were standing up. So they're going to need more aid as time goes on. So if you could just keep them in your minds and in your prayers. I know we identify tremendously with what they're going through. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, we had a Shade Tree Commission meeting yesterday. We had sent in our application to the state for approved status. It's a 30-page application. They did send it back. They asked us for some amendments. Sometimes kind of don't know why they ask it, but they want us to know what our action will be for the ash tree borer. So we don't know how many ash trees we have in town. So now we have to go around and kind of find out how many ash trees we have growing in trees so we can make that amendment to the our application. Also, the summer camp ended last week. Very successful. Each day when I came in, there was activity either in the community room, in the gym, where I saw them down the beach, saw them down the lake. It looked like it was a very successful summer for just the second year. So congratulations to our camp counselors and Colleen for putting that all together. It was a great addition. I know for years I was the recreation director. I never thought it could work. Prove me wrong. That's fine, as long as it's better for the kids, that's great. So I guess looking forward to a third summer. Terrific job. Okay, that's all the reports I have. Now we move to the public session on resolutions only on the agenda. We will continue to have a public session at the end of the meeting. Okay. Do I have a, like the, what am I looking for?
Would anyone like to comment?
Oh,
on the
okay.
agenda?
Does anybody want to make a comment on the resolutions calendar? Troy?
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry, I walked in late.
You get penalized, that's the 10 minutes after class, you get to stay.
Okay. Joy Sanctus, 101 6th Avenue. This is on the consent agenda, specifically on the bills to be paid list and also on the awarding of the contract. I'm advising Municipal Clerk April Claudio that I am putting her on notice that Mayor Matt Garrity and Councilwoman Jennifer Nicolay are in violation of Belmar's Chapter Conflict of Interest Ordinance, Section 9.5. I've enclosed documentation to support this allegation here too. Accordingly, I would expect the proper enforcement relating to voting on certain issues as well as other remedies that will take place immediately. So I'm just going to give this to...
Can I just ask our attorney a question? George,
Sure.
Since those two people aren't here, that doesn't prevent us from voting on the contract, correct?
No, doesn't have any impact on,
Okay, so we can still vote despite Joy's,
yes.
okay.
And I'm just going to hand this over to the municipal clerk so she'll have it for the
Okay.
records. This is the supporting documentation.
And that's it, Joy?
That would be it.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else who would have any comments on the resolutions? Seeing none, I move to close the public portion on the resolutions. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have 2 seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Then I make a motion to vote on the resolutions on the consent agenda.
Can we vote on these all together, or can we make this a consent agenda? Or do we need to go one by one?
You know what, since there is a question like one, we go, since there's
You wanna
only
go one by one?
4 of them, let's go one by one.
There's only 4.
All right, I make a motion that we vote on the resolution authorizing the payment of bills. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Councilman Keeling-Leffert?
Yes.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilman Weber?
Yes. And I'd like to make a motion on the resolution authorizing the refund of development escrow. Do I have a second?
Second.
Councilman Keeling-Leffert?
Yes.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilman Weber?
Yes. Next, I'd like to make a motion on voting for the resolution authorizing the contract purchase of a tractor.
I love tractors. Second.
Who is that with? Who's doing that contract?
It's, we're using a joint purchasing agreement under National Joint Powers Alliance, and names on the tip of my tongue. I know it's an authorized vendor under the National Joint Powers Alliance. I just don't see the name right here.
We would need to include that in the.
NJPA, sorry, it's NJPA, it is here.
Councilwoman Kell Blackburn.
Yes.
Councilman Brennan.
Yes.
Councilman McGovern.
Yes. Lastly, I'd like to make a motion to vote on the resolution authorizing the receipt of bids for the resurfacing of the tennis courts.
Second.
Councilwoman Kell Blackburn.
Yes.
Councilman Brennan.
Yes.
Councilman McGovern.
Colleen, they're not just repainting it,
We do.
they're redoing it.
Yes.
Okay.
They're past the point of just a surface job.
Okay, so it's a reconstruction of the,
Yes.
terrific.
There's also fencing and water fountains included in it.
Water fountains.
Shocking that we would have water fountains here.
Okay, yes. Seeing no ordinance, we'll move right on to the public session for today's meeting. If there's anybody that would like to come up to the microphone and speak on anything you would like, please do so now. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Seeing none, I move to close the public portion of tonight's meeting and move to adjourn. Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I always want to do.